And about the best, we have got the one and only Councillor Jonathan Dulston from Darlo Borough Council, Cabinet Member for Stronger Communities, sat here live in the studio. Good afternoon, Jonathan. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. What an introduction, Peter.
I know, simply the best. I just thought I would play that for you, you know.
Yeah.
What is your role and what does it mean?
So we have, I'm an elected member, so I'm a councillor. I represent the Eastbourne ward of Darlington. So there's 50 councillors that sit on council. And then within that you have the executive, which is the cabinet. So there's another 8 people that represent different areas. So I look after Stronger Communities, which encompasses the police, the fire brigade, our response to community safety, so in terms of antisocial behaviour, all of that type of stuff, fines, the stuff that keeps people safe, water safety, flood defences, etc. And I also look after the community work, so all the stuff you see with regards to the third sector, bringing charities together, LGBT, etc. So I bring all that together.
Oh, well, that's quite an important role. As I was scrolling down your page, I come across the bread and butter project, and I thought the only time I have bread and butter is with fish and chips. I just wondered what the bread and butter project was all about.
Okay, so the bread and butter thing is a project that was launched in Greater Manchester, and it's to focus on food inequality. So we appreciate that in these extraordinary times, especially with COVID-19, people are struggling, people are furloughed, people have been made redundant, and what the bread and butter thing sets out to do is to provide food that's very close to the sell-by date that would ordinarily go to landfill, to capture that and then redistribute it. And what we do is we give it's a very simple process. You just text a number, it costs £7.50, and we anticipate you get about £35 worth of food. So it's a fantastic initiative. Across the town. We've got 4 different hubs running on different days of the week, but for any more details, go onto my Facebook page or the council website, and it's very straightforward to take part in.
Yeah, £7.50 and you get £35 worth of food, which is quite good, especially these times. Like I say, we are got into a recession. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, it was on Facebook, obviously, about the boy who was age 15 who died. A hero, as his brother was in the river, and he, condolences go with the family, as I said on that morning. How is the councillor going to approach things like this?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, my thoughts go out with Anas's family and friends. It was an absolutely terrible situation, and I still get shivers down my spine when the fire commander informed me on the night. I think the council plays a massive part in highlighting river safety, and we've done a particularly large campaign this year along with our partners in County Durham. We work very closely with in this area, but also our police and partners in the fire brigade. We've all come together to look at how we can strengthen that campaign going forward, because actually what we realise, for example, if we look at signage specifically, that it's more effective to do electronic signage to make sure that we get all these advertisements on social media, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Twitter, because that's where we know that people are engaged. Not physical signage down near the river. So we're doing a lot of work to increase our participation online to make sure that these messages get to the right people.
Which is good. And like we say, we do, our thoughts are with the family of that young boy. I saw you the other day stood on a bandstand in Northgate, Darlington, looking very smart, with our MP Peter Gibson, and on about Northgate itself and how it used to. Someone put on Facebook how it used to be thriving, and how you could maybe change it or pick it up or clean it up, or anything like that. What ideas have you got for Northgate? What things have you got? I mean, I know, I haven't whinged yet, but every morning when I wake up, I was sick of looking at that empty club. Opposite me, what used to be Bojangles, didn't it?
I'd have to take your word for it, Peter.
Yes.
Before my time, I only know it as escapades.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras. I remember it as
Yes.
Mardi Gras, actually.
Yeah. And the other building as well on the corner of Commercial Street,
Yeah.
opposite Route 66. The one right on the corner.
Plastered Parrot.
Plastered Parrot.
Yeah.
Yes, that's still stood empty. That's another question. Obviously, with all these places stood empty, and and then the council decide to build a brand new building out opposite the council, which cost quite a lot of money. Would you not think using these older buildings to use them for whatever they're going to be used for, instead of using money to put new buildings up?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we need to look at, so I'll answer the question in two parts. The first one is the Northgate Initiative, is what we call it in council, and that's the project where we bring all of our police and partners, all of our fire brigade, all the different people that make up our community, whether it's internal services or external services, from across the town, to focus on their part of making this a success. So we're looking at housing conditions, we're looking at private sector landlords, we're looking at crime, we're looking at the back lanes, we're looking at the physical appearance of the park. And what you get by getting all of these people around the table is we all start talking. And I know it might sound basic, but what I've found joining council is that just doesn't happen. The very thought of people talking to each other just didn't happen.
No.
So actually getting them round the table to discuss a specific issue and commit to specific actions has proven really, really successful.
Yeah.
And the second point is with regards to the unoccupied buildings. It would be very easy to just go into these buildings, but actually what we know is some of these buildings aren't fit for purpose now, as we are now, but also as we move forward. So we need to be thinking as a council, what is the best value for money if we are making future investments? They've got to be environmentally friendly, they've got to be cost effective, so that's where our focus is.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously we've got the church at the back of Boots, haven't we, which is sadly getting knocked down bit by bit, isn't it? But that's it. What else is there? So obviously, parking in Darlington, it's just been mentioned an hour ago about that they might be stopping the free parking and going into 2 hours of free parking a day. But obviously the council members have got to go away and discuss this.
Yeah.
So that's something what is going to be on the cards in the near future, because really, I mean, since March everybody has been parking for free, which is good, which is nice of the town to do, but now looking forward, 2 hours. You can imagine someone who's working and have to move the car every 2 hours. What's your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Well, that's a really, really good point that you started with, actually, because what we found during this trial, what we've done since we've been in this extraordinary times for COVID and trying to get people to come back into the town centre, is a lot of those spaces have been occupied by the people who work within the town centre, and that's actually quite a lot of people. So we need to manage that around people using it who work in the town centre, because they absolutely are a key part to the success of the town, but also making sure that the space is available for people who want to come and shop in Darlington, not just residents of Darlington, but attracting people from across the Tees Valley and wider.
Exactly. Now, as times are getting a bit worrying for a lot of people, and I was speaking to the environmental health last night outside the Boot and Shoe, and I said to them, one of the questions I did say to them was about the obviously Middlesbrough is about to get locked down, or nearly is, with schools closing and pubs closing. How is that going to affect our community, with people coming into our town from Middlesbrough, as it is in a high risk situation at the moment, coming into our community and making our town a high risk town?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question. It's something that I've also been asking of our public health team. One of the big things for me is looking at the data that we're hearing from our colleagues in Middlesbrough, and also making sure that we have all of the precautions in place in Darlington, and some of them are very basic. Wear a face covering if you can't achieve social distancing. Make sure you regularly wash your hands. So if we can do all of that and take the very, very small, simple steps, then I'm confident that Darlington can stand strong and maintain its position, minimise the spread of the virus, but also, the tagline to keep Darlington on the right track. I'm confident that we can do that.
Yeah, I think we have a great team.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never met them before. I think they were a bit shocked when they see his handbag walk out the door and they talk to them. It's quite funny. The look on their faces was like,
yeah.
But we had a good conversation, and it was nice to see them. So yeah, well, I think that's about it, Jonathan, for now. Thank you very much for coming in to Darlo Radio. It's been a pleasure, and I think we've aired out a few things, what's going on in Darlington and what's going on in the world. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And you never know, Santa Claus might be good to you this year.
Yeah.
We wish.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Jonathan.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
Take care.